Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. Are you getting tired of all the Angel Share, Aventus, Baccarat Rouge 540 clones out there? Like, it's gotten to the point that it's complete insanity, chaos, apocalypse. Yeah, it won't stop. Well, I got good news for you, because now what we have to look forward to is clones of Pacific Chill.
Another one.
Yes, it feels like every single brand in existence is making Louis Vuitton Pacific Chill clones, dupes, inspired by fragrances. A lot of times they're not really like necessarily a direct clone, but what they're doing is they're taking Pacific Chill and they're tweaking the DNA. They're pulling a Jurassic Park essentially, and then they release something that's Pacific Chill but with a twist, and they go, hey guys, it's our new original fragrance. What do you think about it? Well, good for you guys. We got a new one. Today we're taking a look at Rayhaan's Pacific Aura. That's right, not Pacific Elixir, Pacific Aura. Which, who knows, maybe a designer brand is gonna be looking at this one and they're gonna go, wait a sec, Aura, I like that. That's got a good ring to it. What if we made our fragrances Aura? And then boom, Aura flankers as far as the eye can see, thanks to Rayhaan. So as I said, this one is similar to Pacific Chill, but how similar, and is it worth checking out amongst the sea of clones? The sea of LV, PC. This one I picked up from beautyhouse.com. It is linked in the description below. The price, $44.50 for 100 ml size bottle, but that is before the code. So there is a code that you can use here, as you see on your screen, to save yourself money should you shop at Beauty House's website, and a multitude of other codes that you can use across other sites like JOMASHOP, the Perfume Box, and more. Let us begin by taking a gander at the presentation, and then we can start talking about how this one smells. First up, Le Box. Pretty simple. On the front you have the name of the house, name of the fragrance, and your size, but you'll notice no concentration on there. You have Rayhaan on top of the box, and the back of the box you have this calligraphy design that wraps around the box as well, and a nice gradient blue at the top going to kind of like a goldish green at the bottom. And then on the bottom of the box itself, you'll find, of course, your batch code. And here we have the bottle. It's in the same design as their original ones in terms of the shape, but it has been upgraded from the original Rayhaan releases. So you have on the front name of the house, name of the fragrance once again. You have the name of the house on the side of the bottle, each side actually. Again, nice gradient on the bottle as well. And a calligraphy design on the back of the bottle that looks quite nice. Bottle. I said that really well, just nailed it. Enunciation, perfect. You have the name of the house on top of the cap, Rayhaan, and then you have your badge code on the bottom of the bottle, and the cap is magnetic. Let's do the magnet test. Quite strong. Definitely strong enough that you can pick it up by the cap without too much worry, but if you give it a really hard shake, it will come off. But you know what I always say, a magnetic cap automatically adds 1 point to the fragrance. Is that actually true? Not really, but I'll take a magnetic cap anytime I can get one, and the atomizer is pressurized. So that's like, what, 1.5 points, I guess? Sure. Now, my introduction to Rayhaan was not necessarily a very good one. I bought their first 3 fragrances in their aquatic lineup from Amazon. I don't remember the price exactly at the time. I think maybe 25-ish bucks per bottle, something like that. Not crazy expensive, but somewhere around there. And at the time, the original Pacific, not Pacific Aura, but the original Pacific was getting hyped. I'm talking massive hype. It was like everybody and their mother basically saying, hey, you gotta get this right now. It cures cancer. And if you don't buy it, actually there is a clause written in the contract of life that you'll get cancer. So you probably should pick it up. I'm glad I did. I was not overly impressed. The original Pacific, I was not a massive fan of it. As time has gone on, like, I don't hate it, but it is the type of scent where I smell it and I'm like, yeah, it's good, but it's kind of like a designer, right? So, and it doesn't smell like an overly expensive designer either. So kind of, yeah. And the other 2 fragrances that were in that lineup didn't blow me away either. But as time has gone on, they've actually gotten much better at the stuff that they're putting out, thankfully. So for example, Rayhaan Crimson, that one is a banging clone of Creed's Centaurus, really well done. And then Corium, which I've talked about a few times, that one is a clone of Stronger With You Leather, which Stronger With You Leather has been discontinued and is pretty difficult to find nowadays. So that's a really welcome clone to have out there. You know how it is. Like me, plus discontinued fragrance equals, oh, yeah, that one is really good. It's a whole thing, man. But I know a lot of you out there are the same, and you can't deny it, because there are so many fragrances that have been out and then they get discontinued, and all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, that was so good, man. But while it was available, they were like, I don't care. Okay, getting sidetracked. This one, Rayhaan Pacific Aura, it's got nothing to do with the original Rayhaan Pacific whatsoever, other than its name Pacific, and it comes in a similar bottle shape. That's pretty much it. Now, is it a good Pacific Chill clone or alternative? Well, to answer that, all we need to do is look at the name of the fragrance. It has Pacific in the name, and Louis Vuitton also, with that fragrance, has Pacific in the name. Okay, guys, that is it. Thank you so much. Stay safe, take care of yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. Yeah. So how does this one smell when it opens up? Well, it is quite minty, very fresh, energetic, enlivening. I will say that this one has more mint to me off the top than the Louis Vuitton does. So you're gonna get more of that brisk, green, uplifting, you know, slightly biting mintiness when you first spray this on compared to the LV side by side. It's got a nice like cooling kind of lift to it, you know, the slight iciness from that mint, and then the citrus rolls in right behind the mint as it settles on your skin. Very bright, slightly rindy, but really balanced nicely with some sweetness in there, and the rindiness is not overdone. It just adds a nice little touch. You get some tartness from blackcurrant as well, which is gonna mix together with that rindy citrus off the top as well. And you get like a faint green leafiness in the opening right around the edges of the scent. Fresh, juicy, clean, energetic, and brisk is really how I would describe this one when you first spray it on. As it heads into the dry down, it does start to settle down really nicely, but it still has this like fruit bowl-esque kind of sweetness, and that's going to be also impacted by some apricot that you get in the mid. And there's also a fresh, kind of green, sweet undertone that like anchors the fragrance in the mid, and that carries over into the dry down as well. Now, when I say green, don't misconstrue that as meaning overly aromatic or herbal or anything like that, because sometimes that may be what you think of, you know, something that like tingles the nose hairs, that kind of like herbal facet. It's not really that type. It's really smooth and, like I said, sweet. Also has like a bubbly feel to it in the mid. Not overly zingy, but like this little bubbly, light effervescence, which really helps keep up that energetic aspect of the scent. Into the dry down, there's a little bit of fig, has kind of like a creamy aspect to it, a light creaminess, but it doesn't go like full on milky or lactonic or anything like that. It quietly supports the tone of the fragrance. And really, once it settles into the mid, there's not a big change into the dry down. It stays pretty consistent. Sure, you might pick up, like I said, a little bit of that fig, maybe some of the citrus as it heads into the dry down becomes a little bit more toned down, smooths out a little bit, but it's still at its heart is this fresh, fruity, sweet type of scent profile with green undertones that play a really nice supporting role. So no major shifts for me once it settles down. It's just kind of like a quiet evolution of what it already is, essentially. And I know earlier I said, you know, nowhere on here is there the concentration, right? It's not in the box anywhere. You know, you look all around, on the front, on the bottom, on the sides, nothing. On the bottle, nothing. It's just kind of weird, not really normal, but if you go to Beauty House's website, as I said, it's listed as an eau de parfum, so I'm going to assume that's what this is. And as this type of fragrance, freshy, a fruit-forward, sweet, freshy, the performance is actually solid, long-lasting, great projection for a freshie, and it's not that type of scent that you have to worry about having to reapply over and over and over. A great, casual, sweet summertime fragrance that'll last through the day or the evening. That's really what's going on here. And as I said, yeah, summertime fragrance, more of a daytime fragrance. You could also wear it obviously in spring, early fall. And I guess if you're really jonesing for this type of fragrance, you could wear it during the winter as well, because it does have decent push and longevity. Now the question is, how is it as a replacement for Pacific Chill? Because as I mentioned before, there are a lot of them and they keep coming. And a bunch of them are, as I said before, kind of like taking the Pacific Chill DNA and then going, okay, let's mess with this Jurassic Park style. Let's mess with it. Let's splice the DNA. And then what comes out the other end? Something that we're gonna go, haha, this right here, we came up with it. It is our creation. I did not cheat, I did not. And that's the idea behind a lot of these. The idea behind this one, I think, is, let's copy that. That's my idea. And then everybody around the boardroom table goes, yes, good idea. Yeah, good job. Yeah. The question is, how good is it as an alternative, like a one-to-one type of alternative? Well, as I said, the opening, that initial blast, that initial opening is gonna be different if you do a side-by-side. To me, more of that punchy mintiness, because you don't get as much of that fruit bowl type of effect underneath the mint when you first spray this on, when it first hits your skin, first hits your nose. But as it settles, this is probably, at least of everything that I own, the closest to actually capturing what Pacific Chill smells like. So if you're going for that type of scent where you go, I want to smell like Pacific Chill, I don't want like the twisting and the turning and the changing and the trying to pass it off as like, oh, this is a unique fragrance, which I don't mind that, but it is kind of funny sometimes. Some clone houses do it more than others, of course, but where they go, oh no, this is an original creation. You know, they'll put it out there, it's an original creation. And then you smell it and you're like, no, it's not. Like, you clearly are doing a riff on this one. And they're like, what? This guy over here, you on crack? What? I would no. This is, what? They're on to us, put a hit out on him. Sometimes you just want to be like, no dog, like give me that, well, for less, like just quit being cute, okay? And that's what they're doing here. They're just trying to say, all right, here you go, buddy. And once it settles in after that initial blast, really close. And in the air, you're not gonna be able to really tell a difference unless you're doing a side-by-side, huffing and puffing, arm to arm, which I have been known to do. But that's not normal, okay? And you're not gonna have some random bro come up to you on the street and be like, what's that, huh? You thought you could trick me? I'm onto you. I'm onto you. I know that's Rayhaan. I know. Never gonna happen. In the air, really well done. And $44.50 before discount code, that's like 13% the cost of the Louis Vuitton. That one is $345 for 100 mil, and you really can't find them discounted, or at least very rarely. And then you have to worry about fakes depending on where you're buying. eBay. And price to quality ratio, it is great. Like, this stuff is such a big difference from the original stuff that they were dropping, which frankly, I'm not the biggest fan of. And that's not even a thing. Is it price to quality ratio? Quality to price ratio? Maybe it should be a thing. Start coming up with that. Quality to price ratio on this one is 4.5 stars out of 5. That's pretty good. Genius. And of course, as time goes on, I would imagine this is going to pop up for sale at more places. That's typically how it goes with, you know, clone launches. And as it does, that means the price is gonna matriculate down a little bit. And at that point, a steal. Really good. You always gotta wait for the matriculation. That's the whole thing. Unless you just don't care, and then heck with it. But even at $44.50, which we'll just call 45, okay? Even at 45, no discount code, no nothing, really solid stuff. You get the longevity, you get the projection, really great quality, and super similar to something that is many times more expensive. So there it is, Rayhaan Pacific Aura. I think that if you're looking for, Pacific Chill and you want more of a one-to-one, not as much of a twist, this is the best one you can buy today. It would be the first one that I recommend to you at this point if that's what you're after. Thank you guys for hanging with me here today. I forgot I'm doing a giveaway. I picked this one up, months ago, actually. It's Rayhaan, it's not Pacific Aura. I actually bought this before this was even out. Imperia is the name. So we'll go ahead and do a giveaway of this one. Usual stuff, as you see on the screen. Like the video, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let me know in the comment what discontinued fragrance should be brought back. Brought back from the dead. It's my favorite thing. If I ever have the ability to work with a clone brand, if they're like, hey, would you like to work with this? I'll be like, on one condition, we're bringing them back. I don't care about nothing except bringing them back from the dead, brother. I'm a straight necromancer, warlock right now. I'm a lich. We're bringing back all these fragrances from the dead. And then they'll be like, That does, yeah, is that gonna work? I'm like, that's not my problem. We're bringing it back from the dead. You got my word, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Hey, somebody hit me up. Rayhaan hit me. No, it's fine. Then you know what'll happen. Oh, guys, what up? I'm in Dubai. Oh, it's the Burj Khalifa. It's the fragrance clone Khalifa. Ah, look at all the clones. Okay, whatever. Just let me know in the comments what discontinued fragrance brought back from the dead. What should it be? If you don't even know some discontinued fragrances that should be back from the dead, look at other people's comments, copy one of theirs that sounds good. Here, I'll give you one. Gucci Envy. It's already been brought back once. We're bringing it back again. Just say that. I don't know, man. There we go. There it is. Whoop. Over here. That's it. I'm out of here. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.